Thank you very much for staying. Welcome back to the marketplace. Now, hold at least 1% of the country's reserves in bitcoins to help diversify Bank of Ghana's investments. That's an advice coming from the Vice President of Group Indum, Papa Wasachifi Indum. The bitcoin is a digital currency that can be used to purchase goods and services. It is not regulated for now by any government or central bank. But Chifi Indum tells Joy Business this is one of the serious ways of avoiding those shocks the economy is exposed to as a result of currency volatility.
Ghana has, most central banks have a degree of independence, so they do have rules and regulations that allow them to manage the reserves and the money. So I think, they make decisions on whether they hold dollar, euro, gold, and this is a product that now has derivatives on major exchanges. It's not as esoteric as people think it is. A lot of investors, it took one of the exchanges 2 years of studying to get it approved and gone through. So people say that, oh, it's too late. No, we're still at the ground floor. This is like 1990 for the internet in terms of adoption and understanding. So in my view, it would be totally reasonable for the Bank of Ghana, acting on its own authority to manage our funds, to study it very well, make a good opinion. And that opinion could be, no, we're not interested. They don't have to tell me or anyone about that decision. But if I think it would be probably in their best interest to decide yes, and to put maximum of 1% the reserves there, because it will send a because if, and this is making some assumptions, that's if they study it well, master the technology, and say that it's good. If that's the case, if they make that decision, then they should put at least 1% in there, because it can help foster a revolution in technology and finance here in Africa, which is something that is needed for us to develop. What else are we going to do to get out of this situation? Or are we just going to live with it? Be happy with power situation, expensive things, import-led, not educating everyone enough, not having enough hospitals, not having enough medicine. Are we just going to be content? Or are we going to try something to get out of it? And this is why I passionately make this argument. And people have very strong opinions about Bitcoin. A few months ago, I was not going to even talk about it publicly. I was going to stop talking about it publicly because people get so upset and angry for some reason because it challenges their conventions. But when I really thought about it deeply, I realized that a lot of the things I work hard on, it embodies those philosophies, and I don't want this country to miss out on another technological revolution. I want us to be in this game, and even if, because even if Bitcoin goes to zero, which I don't think is likely, but many people do, there are other digital currencies, and this would start our journey. And as I said, what if, as a result of this, Bank of Ghana goes in, they buy 1% of Bitcoin, somebody downloads a book by Antonopoulos, learns how to code and create a new blockchain, and it's the best one. What if that happened? If the best digital currency, as a result of moving in this space, came from a Ghanaian company? It would raise billions for our economy. So we must get into this space, and I'm suggesting that we do it now. Not today, not tomorrow. Now with the investment, in a few months, after broad consultation, the regulation. But it's something that we should not sit on the sidelines for.
Now, how do individuals ensure they get it right when it comes to their personal finances for this year? Most people often struggle in terms of managing their finances, which often leads them to some financial crisis during the first half of the year. Now, so what is the way out? Let's hear from the Chief Executive Officer of investment banking firm Dusk Capital, Bernard Osei.
All debts are not the same. I say prioritize your debt. So you are beginning a new year. Take a stock of all your debt that you have. Others will obviously have higher interest payment than others. If you have the strength, pay all those debts out and begin the year on a very good note. I always tell most of my customers that comes in for business advice that all debts are not the same. So you need to have a priority over all the debt that you are managing. So for example, you have taken a loan from the bank and the interest charge on that particular amount is really, really high, or you've gone for loans from savings and loans and it's really killing you. Prioritize them. Find a way as far as possible to make room and pay some of them off. The second thing I'll tell businesses is that let's all have a cash flow and financial plan and a discipline to go back onto it again, especially for the small and medium-term businesses. You don't need to wait for the end of the year before you do a review, or wait till 6 months before you do a review. You have to do constant
quarterly review, maybe every 3 months.
Every 3 months, go over whatever you set up for yourself, whether you are achieving it or not. Your recurring expenditure, electricity, staff salary, medical expenses, and a whole lot of other things will obviously come to it up to you. Are businesses coming in enough to offset those recurring expenditure? Because whether you like it or not, salaries is constant. We are in a new month, especially for this January. Business is going to be pretty much slow.
And that's what I wanted to come to you on, especially for the first quarter.
Exactly.
What should be the plan? I have staff that have gone to Christmas break, and most of them are even trying to come to me for early salary and all.
This morning in our Monday meeting, I asked a question. I hope people will have some of your salaries. They oh, boss, everything is gone, everything is gone. And January always will be like a long month to come.
So how should you deal with a month where you have to restock, you have to go and renegotiate some of these credits that you've taken, you may have to cop up some money to pay them off and all the rest? It's quite a heavy expenditure for every businessman. How should you go around it one with that?
The advice should have come earlier, George, if you ask me. It should have been in such a way that before the year end, you make room for this. Because if you've been in business for at least 2 to 3 years, this is a regular pattern that it goes in through. That in the month of January, things are extremely slow. Businesses are very slow. You don't expect a lot of businesses. A lot of companies are not going to do renegotiation on contracts and a whole lot of other things. So generally, businesses are very slow in the month of January. So I was expecting that you would have made provision during last year of a bit of certain overflow to cater. But in any case, if that was not done, and you are still caught up in this, and you still want to make a way, there's always a way out. What I would advise is this. For example, for those small and medium businesses, what they need to do within this short term is to manage their, recurring expenditure. There are things that they can have control over. For example, fuel. You don't allow the marketing team to be running all over around this time. They may not bring in a lot of businesses to you. Use this period as a period of strategy. So be in the office more time, strategize for the plan and the things that you need to do as far as the year is concerned, so that you emphasize more time on your strategy and your planning and the things of how you want things to be done in the year, rather than running around in Accra looking for businesses or going to places to drop in proposals and introductory letters. It will not fly for you. It will not cash well for you. You will rather spend a lot of money on fuel and other, electricity and other stuff as well. So cut on those a bit. Use this period for more strategy and discuss a lot of stuff.
Let's now turn attention to one of our top stories. And Ghana is taking steps to secure global patent for her traditional Kente fabric. Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah said government will also set up an international integrated Kente center in the region. He says the two initiatives will enhance tourism and an economic potential boost for the local fabric. Regional Minister Osei-Mensah disclosed these at the maiden edition of the newly instituted annual Kente Festival at the traditional home of Kente, Bonyue. Prince Apia witnessed the occasion and has filed this report.
The theme for the event was promoting development through our cultural heritage, the Bonyue potential. It is aimed at showcasing the rich culture, tradition and history which symbolizes Ashanti's royalty and dignity. Small and large drums announce the beginning of what will be a colorful event. Different patterns of Kente nicely woven and sewn into beautiful dresses and regalia on display. Mr. Osei-Mensah says the proposed International Kente Center will further unearth the potential of Kente, a major foreign exchange earner.
It is of paramount significance that as a people, we take all the necessary steps to obtain global patent rights for the Kente crop. Consequently, the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council will take a lead role with Nananom and all other major stakeholders to obtain patent rights for Kente. We should plan for the establishment of an international standard integrated Kente center, which consists of a museum, weaving center, amusement center, and a market where prospective buyers could buy and also have fun while enjoying the Ashanti and Ghanaian hospitality.
Amidst the fanfare, however, residents of Bonre have concerns, especially about the bad roads in the area, which they say hamper tourism promotion.
The
road from airport roundabout to Antwerp is bad. People do not come to buy the Kente because of the bad nature of the road.
The dusty nature of the road is very worrying. The situation worsens during the rainy season. It is very difficult for us. Chief of Bonre, Nana Bobiansa II, also wants government to establish a yarn factory to address challenges weavers endure to acquire inputs.
4 acres.
We have prepared 4 acres of land. All documents on the land are ready, which will be given to our MP to forward to the Trades Minister to work on the yarn factory for us. Because yarns are imported, Kente is expensive. If a yarn factory is situated here, it will be easy for weavers. Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Ejiso Kwabna Owusu-Diomi, who is also Deputy Minister for Roads, responds to the people's concern about roads.
Government has awarded contracts to construct some major roads in this town. The contractor is expected to commence work on these roads very soon.
Tourism and Culture Minister Catherine Afeku assured of collaboration with traditional authorities to globalize the Kente Festival. Prince Apia reporting.
And still on tourism, government has been implored to take steps to position itself as a support system for the tourism sector by cutting down on some taxes in the industry, according to the recently released hospitality report for Ghana. The tourism contributed 7.8% of the country's GDP for last year and also ranked 4th on the high foreign exchange earner list after gold, cocoa and oil. However, topping the list, the industry faces many challenges with the issue of taxes topping the list. Acting Executive Director of Ghana Heritage Conservation Trust, Macy Howell, emphasized the need for government to grant some tax reliefs to the sector.
Entities that are doing well in the tourism industry in Ghana, but the majority are not. They are struggling. The restaurants are closing, hotels are closing. Some of them have a passion because they see the need, they have the skills and the wherewithal to become an intervention, to provide a service or so, but you're just bombarded. And so even before you're able, okay, so you go to the market, you buy your stuff, you sell for lunch, but even before you can go back to the market, there's a tax that attacks you at the beginning. I think in order for us to grow, we need more support from government. You know, there can be a moratorium, there's a time, so you make it attractive and you provide the support services, you support with the marketing. We leverage on our international connections. Ghana has a very good international reputation. We should use these when we are marketing, but make sure that the person in the business doesn't feel penalized. And so he can bring his room rates down, he can bring the food rate down, you attract more people, you give better service, and overall, you know, it's a small amount that adds up. You know, we do it on the numbers. I usually say when I do corporate gifts, I'm not interested in doing 10, 50 or 100 items. Let's go into the thousands where you make like 20 cents on one. And when it's a multiply effect.
Still on the market, please, let's now turn our attention to energy. And fuel prices were expected to rise marginally in the first pricing window of January 2018 due to slight increases in fuel prices on the international fuel market, but for the intervention of oil marketing companies and the National Petroleum Authority, NPA. Competition amongst OMCs under deregulation have for some time now gone in the favor of consumers for fear of losing market share. Meanwhile, the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, says prices of LPG and petrol will remain stable in the month of January. According to the NPA, the move is in line with drop in crude prices and petroleum prices at the world market, as well as relative stability in the exchange rate. The authority also reminds the public it has equally activated the price stabilization levy to stem potential upward adjustment in the price of diesel. We have been joined on the line by a researcher of the Institute for Energy Security, IES, Richmond. There seems to be some discrepancies in the figures between what the IES is putting across and what the NPA is also saying. Richmond, if you can hear me, good afternoon and a Happy New Year to you.
Good afternoon and Happy New Year to you and your cherished viewers.
All right. Now, so from what we are hearing, the NPA is actually saying prices will remain stable for the month of January because the factors have been favorable. I mean, when I talk about the factors, I refer to the two major determinants. That's the prices of crude oil on the international market and the stability of the cedi against the dollar. But you are saying otherwise. Why? Can you give me an explanation to your assertion?
Good afternoon to your cherished viewers once again, and Happy New Year. We are not saying otherwise. What we are saying is that, but for the intervention of the National Petroleum Authority and also the absorb of some of the costs by the oil marketing companies, definitely prices would have gone up. According to NPA's own statement, they have said that they've used the mechanism, the price stabilization mechanism, to hold on to diesel prices. What it means is that basically would have seen prices on the local markets going up, at least from their own statement for diesel alone. What we are saying is that all prices would have gone up because on the international market, LPG prices have gone up, gasoline prices have also gone up, crude oil prices have gone up as we speak. The average is around $66 per barrel. Also for finished products, like I mentioned, for gasoline, gas oil, and LPG, they've all gone up. But oil marketing companies have absorbed some of the costs, and also the National Petroleum Authority has used a price stabilization and recovery levy to save consumers. Otherwise, prices would have been up in this particular window.
All right, now, Roxanne, one thing that I want you to clarify, should prices or should the determinants, favor a price decline in the future, what will the price stabilization levy also do to prices? Does it mean prices will decline further?
No, what the NPA is doing now is studying the market every 2 weeks, or whenever the review for prices is being done, depending on what the prices have been and what the factors have been on the international market, they rather use that to determine what the mechanisms will be. If you remember, in the first pricing window of December, they reduced the price mechanism levy from 10 to 3% for LPG and also for diesel. What they did in the second window was that they brought it back to the regular place and brought diesel to 7 pesos. This particular window, what they are doing is that they have gone back to the 10 pesos for LPG and also gasoline, and for diesel, they are stabilizing. So depending on how the window goes, that determines how the National Petroleum Authority uses the price stabilization and recovery levy. The question you asked, back to what it means is that if prices should come down, or if in that particular window we have favorable prices on the international market and we are not expecting any prices to go up, that means they are not going to use the mechanism. That is what the NPA is doing now. In the next window, if prices are stable, definitely it won't be used. But what we are asking is that after February, because they said they are going to do this for 3 months.
Sure.
December, January, February. After February, what next? That is why we have been saying that we should look at a comprehensive review of the price build-up rather than these knee-jerk reactions that we are using now to stabilize price. Because definitely, sooner than later, prices will go up.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Richmond Roxanne. And Richmond Roxanne is the executive, is a researcher at the Institute of Energy Security, IES. Now, from one form of energy to the other, and LPG cylinder dealers are lamenting implementation of the new recirculation policy expected to kick off this year. They say it will affect their businesses. After an agreement between the NPA and the LPG Marketers Association, it was finalized that the 2 modules of gas distribution will run concurrently until further implementation of the newly introduced CRM, or the circulation or the cylinder recirculation module. Now, Karen Dodu is in town and she'll be speaking with some dealers to get more on their fears. Karen, if you can hear me, take it out.
Yeah, hello, Emmanuel, I can hear you. Like you rightly said, the new model is going to run concurrently with the already existing model. Now, meaning that it's going to get to a point in time where cylinders like this are going to stop being in use, because people would rather go for already bottled gas cylinders and then go and exchange them for other cylinders. Now, people who sell these cylinders are lamenting because the moment the new model starts, it means that they're going to run out of business. I've been speaking to several marketers, I've been speaking to several people who trade in gas cylinders, and they have been telling me that they are worried because it's going to affect their businesses. Some of them have been trading for over 10 years, and they say that if this business ceases for them, they wouldn't know what next to do. Now, I'm currently at Awudome, where Solomon is a cylinder trader, and he has been trading in this for the past 15 years. And he shares his story with me and says that when this ends, it's going to affect his business. Solomon, meaning, so what's a recirculation model in Ghana? Now, Osha, Jenna, Odrin found.
The idea was that no more baby, Sabana Bay, a shiny Yenaja, yes, Romana Cosodia, and no one here. Now, or ye differ or the share banner, so man goes so I was so high baby. Is answer so you man and Coso.
Many a bit much train come more our carnation, a bit more car so. I'm on him, sir, buy any kind dear, obey, name, sell what came. Then obey to me, I a bomb, and also so then I would drink found.
Oh, fine. Send all the about or castle the Baba Windy when you castle beyond from all the Baba. By all the banner, say, answer market to the Bukuyam and Quanda, and also before Quambi Swam market is out to Pondia. And no question here. By sharing all the band or the Bansona, a Quampa, Bob White. I mean, so I want to buy a just gas at the edge of baby. And so I might answer want to.
So you heard Solomon. He is saying that when government starts this new model, it's really going to affect their business. But then he understands that all this is to help curtail the gas explosions that happen in the country. He believes that is a laudable idea, but government should also see how they can fuse them into the new model.
All right, now, Karen, if you can hear me, I believe he belongs to an association, the LPG Cylinder Dealers Association. What is the opinion or the general opinion of the association, and where in the value chain are they going to fit?
Per conversations with other dealers, they told me that they have not yet been spoken to by the association, but they're hoping that as time goes on, they would hear from the bigger group.
All right, and what about the licensing module? I mean, are they going to be part of the new, distribution marketers?
They said they've not heard anything about the licensing, although it's set to begin this month. They're yet to hear anything about that.
All right, thank you very much, Karen Dodu. Karen Ododu has been speaking with some LPG cylinder marketers, and she reached us live from Awudome, where a cylinder marketer is expressing some reservations about the implementation of the new cylinder recirculation model. And that will be it for the marketplace this afternoon. Many thanks for your company. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. You have to join me again same time tomorrow for other interesting developments in the world of business. Have a good afternoon.